So we're moving swiftly on to the presentation by Yoram Wijngaarde. I've been practicing how to say his surname properly. He's the founder and CEO of Dealroom.com, and he'll be talking about launching Polish startups database, backed up by PFR and powered by Dealroom. Also, an important thing here that at the end of this presentation, there will be a 5-minute Q&A. So please.
Hi, everyone. So I guess I can start. I'm Yoram Wijngaarde. I'm the founder of Dealroom. I'm going to start a presentation about the launch of a Polish startup database. So I'm the founder of Dealroom. We're launching today a new startup database focused on Poland together with PFR. For those of you who do not know PFR, this is one of the largest, if not the largest, fund of funds in Poland, investing in many Polish venture capital funds. I'm from Dealroom. Dealroom is a global database. I will talk a little bit more about it in a second. We're launching this in partnership also with Google, EIT, Cogito, which is a Polish VC, Point Nine Ventures, which is a German VC, but one of their general partners, Pavel, is also of Polish origin. So we're very excited to have them on board because they are one of the leading seed investors in Europe. Who have backed, for example, Revolut and many other unicorns. And another partner is SpeedUp, which is a part of PGE Ventures. And we're very happy to have these partners on board because it will help also with the quality of this database. And we're also open to talk about partnerships with other actors. So please feel free to reach out if you want to talk about it. So quickly about Dealroom. Dealroom is a platform providing intelligence about promising companies from startups to unicorns. We provide this platform to corporates such as Amazon, Google, BCG, Microsoft, Stripe, McKinsey, and a ton of other well-known multinationals who want to figure out where the world is going, and that's especially relevant today. We also provide data and analytics and insights to governments, including the French, the UK, German government, also the European Commission, the Netherlands, and different cities, including Berlin, Amsterdam, all across Europe, and also beyond, including Taiwan, for example. And finally, our platform is also used by private equity and VC funds such as Atomico, Axel Partners, Sequoia, Insight, Boulderton, and dozens of other well-known VC firms who are interested in finding the right companies at the right time. So that's about us. Where does our data come from? Our approach is to combine clever data engineering with robust verification processes and a strong network of ecosystems. So we have basically 4 pillars of data. We harvest public information, first of all, using AI and modern technology, really. Then we have a network of ecosystems and partnerships, of which Poland is now one, but those other governments that I mentioned are also in a partnership with us, giving us access to proprietary and unique local information. We do a lot of manual research and verification, and of course we have a big data and engineering team. We're basically a data company, and most of our team works either in data or in our intelligence unit. So that's a quick intro about us. Why am I telling you that? Is because we have an API that is powering not only our own platform, but that same API is now going to power also a Polish startup database. This same API is being used by some of our customers like McKinsey, BCG, Deloitte, Stripe, and many others. and it's also used by these governments who are using our data to power their own local database. This partnership is now in place all across Europe. So you can see Poland is the latest addition that we're extremely excited about. But before that, we have already um, signed partnerships in the UK with Tech Nation, in Berlin, Amsterdam, with La French Tech, also in Rome, Lithuania, several parts of Germany, including Munich, which is going live soon, Cologne, and a ton of other cities. We're also live in Ukraine, actually. So now we start to talk about Poland finally. So today we are launching a new Polish startup database in partnership with PFR. PFR is the initiator. Today, as we go live, and you can see the URL already in the title, it's poland.dealroom.co. In the dashboard, you can leave the dashboard behind it. I will try to demo it live at the end of this presentation if the technology allows. Um, but I will walk you through what you can find inside. So far we've gathered about 1,000 startups and scale ups. So this is the starting point, and we expect that number to grow over the coming months by entering into data sharing agreements with partners, and also by having founders submitting their information directly to us. The database also covers 135 VC funds, which is almost the entire VC industry in Poland. But there's also a lot of other information, so accelerators, workspaces, universities, etc. So what you can find inside, in summary, is a startup database. You can make very detailed search queries, which I will demo in a second. You can save searches, you can set up alerts. I will show how to do that in a second. You can create collections. You can even build your own industry landscapes or landscapes of cities. I'll show that also. And probably interesting for people who are listening, there's also an investor database, and you can even match your startup with investors based on their investment profile. And lastly, the platform is also full of trends and insights that you can find on the platform, but we're also gonna release some research reports with our partners about the Polish ecosystem. So when you go to the site, this is the main page. This is the dashboard. So what do you find here? Once you log in, and now I'm logged in with my own account, you see hot startups and hot scale-ups, which is an overview of startups that are outperforming their peer based on growth metrics, including employee data and other signals. In the right, you see recommendations based on your own profile. Then below that, you have company updates and new matches, which will appear once you are creating collections, creating lists, and setting up alerts. Then if you go to startups and scale ups, you see that here on the left. There you can make very detailed queries. So you can type in almost anything in the query bar, like Series A, Series B, food, fintech, you name it. And you can sort by any of these columns. For example, here I've sorted by 12-month employee growth. If you go to the right, you can also add more columns. By the way, once I'm done with this demo, I will be opening up questions. So if you have questions, you can already start to think about them. So here is another example of something you can get out of the platform. If you go to funding rounds, you can see the exact amount of funding for each year. You can also change the period here from 12 months to 6 months, 3 months, or even 1 month. Um, here, let me quickly explain the meaning of this chart. So it shows total investment, venture capital investment into startups with a headquarter in Poland. The gray part shows the top 3 biggest rounds. So in this case, that's Doc Planner, Brainly, and Booksy. Then it shows the next 7 biggest rounds. So together is the top 10. And then the dark blue part shows all the rounds. And on the right-hand side, you see number of rounds. The reason for the spike here is that we've been able to collect, with the help of PFR, a lot of pre-seed and seed rounds. And so pre-seed activity, especially in Poland, has really spiked last year, which is, of course, a really important step to growing the ecosystem. Then I wanted to also show the matching tool. So you see it here on the left, matching tool. You can type any company name, so it doesn't have to be your own startup. It can also be a startup that you know, or maybe a startup that you've invested in. You type in their name, the amount of money they want to raise, type of investor. In this case, I selected investment fund, and the funding round, which is Series A. Then you get results. So I have here 1,000 results actually sorted by relevance. So it turns out that if No Magic were to raise 30 million, Andreessen Horowitz would be an interesting investment. And yeah, they're of course based in Menlo Park, but you can see they have done investments in companies that have some similarity. They have already invested in Poland. And they have also invested in this type of round before. Same for Khosla and Shasta. And Khosla, for example, has already invested in No Magic, but also in AirHelp. Finally, and that's the last thing from my presentation, and then I'll try to do the live demo and questions. You can create landscapes, and we've already created a few of them, so you can see what it looks like. This one is a Poland landscape for Krakow, and we're going to release more of these, and also ask users to let us know their feedback. So this is a great way for us to gather more accurate information about the Polish ecosystem, which would, in the end, benefit everyone. So summing up, you can join today. The website is live. So this is the dashboard that I was talking about earlier. You can click on any of these companies. For example, No Magic. I can see which investors they have in here. You can see a description, number of employees historically, important news, some info about the founders. If I go from the investors here to, for example, Hoxton, I can then go into the Hoxton profile. Even though they're not based in Poland, but that's the power of this platform. That we're not only showing Polish data, but also information about any entity that's related to Poland. So Hoxton is a firm that's based in London. They're an investor in Deliveroo, Darktrace, Babylon. So they invested in 3 unicorns, but you can see here that they have also done an investment in Poland, which is No Magic. So going back to the dashboard, I just want to quickly check the chat here. I'm hoping that everybody can see what I'm doing. So this is the dashboard. So Hot Startups it's kind of a gimmick to discover interesting companies without having to do a search. So if I click here, I can see, and I'm going to hide the map because it's not that useful. I can see here all the individual companies that are made up that are making up together hot startups. And if you want to change, so it only includes companies founded since 2010, for example. But I can also remove that query, and I can also add a different business model, such as marketing, and then I see the top performers in marketing. So that's hot startups. Hot scale-ups is similar, but then looking at companies from 50 to 500 employees. And here also I can click here to see all. You can see here where they are located. So most in Warsaw and Krakow. Perfect Gym is at the top, but you can again customize all these filters. Recommendations you will get if you once you log in. Angry Nerds is matched to me based on my angel investor profile and based on their profile. Here are new matches based on searches that I have already saved, company updates based on companies that I have saved. If you then scroll down to the bottom, this information you will also see if you're not logged in. So we've created some suggested searches to help you get around. We've also created some suggested lists. So for example, VC-backed startups in Warsaw, which is a landscape. And if I click on it, here you get an overview. And we would really love your feedback on the companies here, which you can do. If you go to this page, you'll see a big green button to leave your feedback, which we would very much appreciate. So that's the suggested list. We have also suggested list for Gdansk, Krakow, and Wrocław. And we would, if you want to create your own landscape, for example, of SaaS companies or gaming companies or whatever is your idea, you can just get started. Or if you want to discuss it with us or you want our help, click here and we'll be very responsive to your requests. Okay, here we can see recent rounds and suggested searches. So if I click on, for example, fintech in Poland, 162 companies. Here's the results. If you want to see only Series A and Series B, no, there is no Series B here. You can this way narrow down your search, or you can also say, I don't want all fintech, but I want a sub-industry of fintech. For example, insurtech. 7 results. Okay, so we were still in the dashboard. So that's all stuff from the dashboard. If I go to startups and scale ups, you get to see basically everything. So here are almost 1,100 so far founded since 2009. I can also change this number to, let's say, 2015. I can say, okay, I want companies valued between 15 and 100 or 100 to 200. No, those we don't have. So 6 between 100 and 200. These valuations, by the way, are based either on an estimation from Dealroom, which you can see shown here as a range. If it's an exact number like here, then it means it's public information. So 10 Square Games is a publicly listed company, but also happens sometimes that companies disclose their private valuation. And in that case, we put the exact number. So that's startups and scale-ups. Then we have corporates, which actually we're still working on enhancing. So this will change a bit in the next couple of weeks, because this this data can look a little bit better. Investors is already quite good. And we hope that every Polish VC will actually sign up. But there's a lot of information here. Not all of these are active, so we will also once we release our report, we will also enhance the investor database. Then we have funding rounds. So here you can see all the rounds. If you click on show stats, you immediately see the aggregate amounts. This is where you can change the period time intervals. You can say, oh, I want only rounds between 10 and 25, for example. I'm looking for rounds where the founder has a technical background. So you can just have fun with all these filters. Or if you want to see all of them, there's a more filters button that shows everything that you can filter by. So there is a lot. And actually, I could also show that here. Here's even more. So you can filter companies by their industry, by their income stream, if it's subscription, commission, advertising, by business model, SaaS, manufacturing, marketplace, and e-commerce, sub-industries, of which there are many, and technologies. But if you type in an industry such as food, it automatically suggests related sub-industries such as agri-tech, innovative food, logistics, etc. So that's funding rounds. Exits is the same idea. We have accelerators, workspaces, universities, service providers. So service providers are companies that are not really startups, but are working more on a project basis. Consulting firms, web agencies, design studios, law firms, etc. If you click on more, there's a bunch of other options, including new funds, LPs, governments, and nonprofits. Then there is the matching tool, which I showed before. So let's pick. Does anyone want to suggest a Polish? Let me see. I have here a question from Thomas. So will it be possible to put several email addresses in one profile? Having several companies have several email addresses. I think it's best if you contact us about this because it's a very specific question. Contact us about this on Intercom, but hopefully my team is also listening and they will get back to you on this question. Does anybody want to suggest startup to put in a matching tool? Otherwise, I will pick one. Connect Point, maybe, or Synterit. I put Synterit. I don't know them. Let's say Series A, investment fund. So here are the results, and you can see these are all funds that have invested in Poland before. Korea Investment Partners has invested in Huge Games. DN Capital has invested in No Magic. But there are also some that have not invested, but you can see in Poland before, like Pangea has invested in the similar rounds. The company would potentially be a match, but this firm has not invested yet in Poland. You can see that here. So this is an endless list. So that's a free tool for any founder. Then last but not least, the investment heat map, which I haven't shown so far. We've only added Krakow and Warsaw so far, but we should add some other cities. Um, you can also see Poland by industry, and I can sort it by year, and it shows that event tech health are the biggest in 2016. Um, in 2018, marketing was the biggest. I can also search by business model, so SaaS, manufacturing, marketplace. I can change the view here to number of rounds, quarterly. So here you get a good overview of which sectors are trending, let's say. Also, you can search by topic, such as deep tech, blockchain. So I have roughly 5 minutes left, and I can continue with the demo, but I would really love to also get some questions. So I'll go through what's here so far. So Thomas asked me the cost for users. So this platform is completely free, and once you sign up, you automatically have also a free Dealroom account, which gives you limited global access. So you can log in also to our platform. And you can see that because the domain is also poland.dealroom.co. Then if you want global access, there are different, like global unlimited access, there are different pricing options, but I'll leave that out of the discussion. Then do you plan to expand ecosystem to southern Eastern European countries such as Croatia? Yes, absolutely, and would love to talk with partners about this. We are already in Ukraine, and in Poland, obviously, and all other Central and Eastern European countries are very high on our agenda. Is it possible to use white label version? And I don't fully understand this question. Like, this is basically a white label version. So will it be possible? Yeah, we already had that about several email addresses. So are there any other questions? Then I go back to the tool. What have I not discussed yet? Here in the top, you can search for any company. So planner. With again some analytics, several funding rounds, top management, news. Here you can also click on similar companies, including Doctoralia, Dr. Lib, of course, Zesty, We Doctor, Doc, Cry should be somewhere as well. Then there's analytics with website visitors, for example, app downloads, and more. More information on the team. And we also rank actually the founders based on their previous experience. And let me just show one more thing that's quite cool. So if I go to one of these investor profiles, let's take Point9. They're also a supporter. So here I can see exactly what Point9 invests in. So I can see here they invest in seed, then followed by Series A, mainly in Germany, but also across Europe. I can see what their top industries are. I can go to their portfolio. And if I really want to analyze their portfolio, I can click on Analyze Portfolio. And then I get the filtered view within Poland. These are all their investments. And I can see also, for example, which ones are growing the fastest, which is Dog Planner and Brainly, or which one is the most valuable, which is again Dog Planner and Brainly. I can filter by, okay, which ones are the consumer focused businesses. A few seconds ago, can we register as a Hungarian startups? As a Hungarian startup. You can register as a Hungarian startup on dealroom.co. So if you're not from Poland, I would recommend to just visit dealroom.co and you can sign up there as well for free. There is a free version of our platform there as well. It's just not focused on Poland. So if you're from Poland, I would recommend to use this tool. And are we active in Latin America? We have one employee based in Latin America, and we're just now looking to uh, launch some partnership there, but nothing final yet. Yeah, I think my time is up. So I want to thank everybody a lot for listening, hopefully. Thank you.